since we're talking about sales, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're talking about good, successful sellers. What do you think are some of the best traits, or what advice would you give to other sellers right now that are young, that want to be and grow in a career, specifically in tech? What's the best advice you'd give?
I think the first thing is accountability. So that's the biggest thing. And I know that like telling someone to be accountable isn't it's almost cliche, right? But the truth is, the people that I've seen be successful. So like I've been number one on the sales floor before, but I was spent more time not being number one, right? Like figuring out how to get there. And so I was always trying to sit next to, learn from, hear from the guys who were killing it. And you could tell who they were because most of them weren't stressed. So if you're on a sales floor with 100 people and 2 guys aren't stressed or gals aren't stressed, that's interesting to me, because how are you number one, number two, but you're not sweating, you're not, you're just not like a stress ball at the end of the month and quarter. And so I wanted to learn from them. And part of what they had said was, you need to be accountable to control what you can control. You can control your activity. You can control what time you show up, what time you leave. You can't control when you get a bad email. You can't control when you get hung up on. You can't control a deal that would have paid your mortgage for 3 months falls short at the end of the quarter. You can't control any of that. But you need to own it, because no director, no VP wants to hear an excuse at the end of the day. They want to hear ownership. And I've seen guys get ripped up like, "What? Hey, Chad, how come this deal didn't come in? You said it would." It's like, "Oh, well, she said she was going to do this, but it didn't happen, blah, blah, blah." And they get ripped to shreds, if not fired. Like I've seen people fired on the spot for BSing their way through like why something went south. I've also seen people go, "I told you it would close. It didn't close. Here's why. I made a mistake at this point. I didn't do this at this point, and that's why it didn't close." And you get a second chance for that. You live to fight another day. And so I think it's just built like really tough, like thick skin for me. Because one, Jerry used to say, all the rejection that you just get used to, you just get, I call it Teflon. You just become Teflon. You get used to it. But at the end of the day, no one feels sorry for you. Work harder. That's what I would tell people. No one feels sorry for you. Just work harder. No one cares that Chad got an inbound for 100 grand. He hits his quarter and you didn't. Work harder. And so I just had that mentality throughout my entire career. And it compounds year over year because you get smarter, you meet more people, more doors open. But if you keep that mindset, you're going to keep being successful. You'll find ways and make your own luck.
That's